Hi guys, welcome to my 11th episode of Love the Byte series. My name is Samuel Kamochu, a telecoms and a software engineer. I'm also the co-founder and the lead presenter at Meliora. In this episode, we are going to look at how ALU works within the computer, and we'll look at the case of addition within the ALU. So we looked at the inside of a computer, and in this case, our Natujenge computer, and we said that the processor or the CPU has two components, the ALU and the control unit. In the ALU, we have two subcomponents, the arithmetic unit and the logic unit. So the arithmetic unit is responsible for addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. And we are going to look at addition in this episode. So let's revisit addition. We said that 27 plus 6, you already know, is 33, but let's see how that works out. So we take 7 plus 6, 13. 13 divided by 10, you get 1, which is the 10, remainder 3. So we write the 3 and we carry 1. The 1 that we've carried together with the 2 that is on the second place value gives us a 3, and we write a 3, we get 33. In the same way, we can do now the binary computation and take 1 plus 1 becomes 2, and 2, we know that we have to divide by 2, and we get 1, remainder 0. And we write the 0, then we do the carry. Now the carry that we have plus the 1 that is already in the second place value gives us a 2, and the 2 is the same as 1, remainder 0. So we write the 0 and we carry 1. But now whatever that we've carried, we add it to nothing because there is nothing in a third position, and that gives us a 1. And the final answer is 1, 1 plus 1 becomes 1, 0, 0. Now let's revisit the rules that we used when we were doing the additions. So if you have two inputs, let's track the sum and the carry. So 0 plus 0 becomes 0 as the sum, and the carry is not there. So we have a 0. So we take 0 plus 1, we get a 1, carry 1. Then we take 1 plus 0, we get a 1, carry 0. And finally, we have something interesting. 1 plus 1, we know it gives us 1, 0. So we write the 0 and we carry 1. And if you look at this and combine with the knowledge that we learned in the Boolean logic or the gates, the logic gates. So if consider the 0 to be false and the 1 to be true. So this is false, false gives us a false, true, true gives us a false, and anything else gives us a 1. Which logical gate can help us implement this? I know by now you know the answer, and the answer is XOR gate. And if you didn't get it right, you probably need to visit the previous episode and rewatch it. Now, this one, I know you had guessed right. The answer is the AND gate. Only true when both A and B are true, the rest are false. And by doing so, we have created something that can do 1-bit addition, and it takes 2 inputs and produces 2 outputs, the sum and the carry. So this can be implemented using 2 gates, XOR and the AND gate. So let's look at the implementation. So the idea is to take the 2 inputs, expose them to the XOR, and we get what you're calling the sum. And we take the same inputs, we expose them to the AND gate, and we get what you're calling the carry. And with that, we have what we call half adder. I know someone might be asking, why the half adder? Please hold your horses. In the next few slides, you'll be able to see that. But the basic idea is 2 inputs and 2 outputs, sum and carry. So if we abstract these a bit, so we can represent half an adder as AB and SC as the outputs, S representing the sum and C representing the carry. Now let's look at a full adder, because we have half adder, then we must be having a full adder. So the basic idea is we will do 3-bit addition. And the idea is that the first bits when you're adding, there is no carry. But once you get to the second bit addition, you have a carry. And this is why the half adder can work in the first addition, but it cannot work in the second bits that are there, or the bits in the second place value. So the carry is an input to the next addition. And this is the idea we're going to use to create a full adder. I know by now you can think of how to do it using gates, but I'll make your life easier and just give you the answer. this is how we create full adder using two half adders. But because we need one output for the carry and another output for the sum, we have to do the OR here for us to do the carry. Someone might be doubting, is this circuit very accurate? So I'm going to do one simulation with these bits that we have here. A is 1, B is 0, and we know that the sum is 0, so we already know the answer, and the carry is going to be 1, and the carry from the previous equation is going to be 1 here. So 1, 0 as A and B, and the carry from the previous addition is 1. So let's do a quick computation. So if you do the sum, XOR, you get a 1. And if you do the carry, it's AND, you get a 0. Now, the output of these first half adder becomes an input in the second half adder, and that together with the C becomes an input. Yes, so we have the C from the previous addition, we bring it together. 1 and 1 XOR, we get the sum, and the answer is 0. And then 1 and 1, we do the AND, and we get the carry, and the answer is 1. So the 1 plus the 0 that we had from the previous adder, the two of them, now we OR them, and we get a carry. And finally, we have the answer is 0, and then we carry 1. Basically, we have an adder that takes two inputs, A, B, and the carry, and this is what we call the full adder. It produces the sum and the carry, as you have seen in that illustration. Let's take it to another level of abstraction, and let's present it as this is a full adder with three inputs, carry A and B, and S and C being the sum, and the carry, which is the output. Remember, it has two carries. The C is the input carry, and the other C is the output carry. So let's implement a 3-bit adder. So the basic idea is that the first 2 bits, you can use a half an adder. So we implement and we get the sum, we write it to the end, and we do the carry. That carry is subjected to a full adder now because we have a carry, and we take A and B, we expose it to a full adder, and it will give us a sum, and it will also give us a carry. And that carry, we incorporate it with the 2 other inputs in the third position, A2 and B2, and with the full adder, we also get a sum, and we do a carry. Now, at that particular point, we have 4 outputs, but the sums, sum 0 and sum 1 and sum 2, they're basically the answer. If the carry bit has a value, then this is what we call overflow, because we have a bit that we've carried, but we have nowhere to take it. And that can actually cause a problem in your program. So when you're doing additions, please take care and ensure that the number of bits that you have, if you're doing the additions, you don't get a scenario of overflow, because that could give you an unexpected result. So in the same way, we've seen how you can combine full adders and half adder and create a 3-bit adder. So you can do a 8-bit, 16-bit, 32, and 64-bit adder. As a matter of fact, if your computer is a 64-bit machine, then it means that the adder within the ALU is a 64-bit adder. And you can wire that. And if you combine it into small things, then you can actually get a 64-bit adder is a very small component within the ALU or inside the processor. And congratulations, now you know how the ALU works, and you have seen how addition can actually happen within a computer. So with that knowledge, you can read more and figure out how the other operations can also be implemented within the ALU. So why is this important? You need to appreciate that the processor actually works, and you need to know how it works. And one of the things that we are learning is we can actually create a processor. Okay, some might argue we can't, but let's say a basic one. I hope that we'll get more partners, and I know some people who have garages and all that. We are not mentioning names. I hope they can open doors for us to now come and wire these things, because the basic idea is Natujenge, let's create. Why is this important? And this is something that I had said earlier in a previous episodes, but gates make up most of the electronic circuitry within a computer, and arithmetic and logic operations circuitry within the ALU are implemented using gates. And as a matter of fact, adders, registers, memories, or memory basically. They're made up of many gates combined together. With this knowledge, then you probably have the power to go and find out how you can create a 1-bit RAM or 1-bit memory or even a register. This brings me to the end of this episode. And if you found this content interesting or you think it could be beneficial to someone out there, please do not let them suffer. Share and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And as you subscribe, remember to activate that notification button so that we let you know when we have new episodes. Thank you very much and see you again in the next episode.